Hello there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini ChannelEye. I'm Sharon Mascarenhas.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines. The Colombo Stock Exchange, the second best performing equity market in the world, records its all-time high today. 649 Sri Lankan corona patients have fully recovered. The percentage of fully cured exceeds 85%. A 420 million rupee income from the pilot tourism project. The park and ride bus service commences.
On to the stories in detail now, starting off with local news. The main index of the Colombo Stock Exchange, the all-share price index, records an all-time high today, surpassing the previous record in 2011. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka stock market has been identified as the second best performing equity market in the world this year as per international ratings. The all-share price index increased by 188.09 points to close at 7,922.66 points, recording a growth of 2.43%. S&P SL20 index was closed at 3,003.30 with an increase of 100.32 points, indicating a growth of 3.46%. The trading of the market was closed today with a share volume of more than 506 million, while recording a turnover of more than 12.18 billion rupees. The benchmark all-share price index crossed 7,000 points level on January 6, 2021 for the first time since November 2015. The all-share price index crossed the 7,000 mark for the first time on October 1, 2010 and reached its highest points level, recording 7,811.80 points on February 14, 2011. The all-share price index has recorded a 66% increase since reaching its lowest point in over a decade on May 12, 2020. In the meantime, Bloomberg identified the Colombo Stock Exchange as the second best performing equity market in the world. Bloomberg, a financial news and data provider, indicated that the all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange has achieved a significant growth during the year, behind Venezuela's stock market index compared with other global stock markets.
The number of recoveries from COVID-19 has increased to 45,820. 208 persons under treatment at COVID-19 treatment centers in the Polonnaruwa district left today after recovering from the illness. They were residents of Colombo, Kalutara, Galle, Kandy and Kurunegala districts. 23 corona-infected officials of the Muttur police station have been fully recovered and left the Ilanchanpattu hospital yesterday. 10,591 have left hospitals from the beginning of this month up to now after recovering from the virus. 649 left today after recovering from the illness. The percentage of fully recovered COVID-19 patients stands at 85.79%. 7,324 patients are still undergoing treatment. Another 332 COVID-19 infected persons were found today. 15,218 PCR tests have been conducted yesterday. A total of 1,500,305 tests have been conducted so far in the country. A 3-year-old child residing in the lower section of the Vanaraja estate in Dikkoya, Hatton, was also reported to have been infected with the virus. When the child came back sick, the parents have taken the child to a private medical institution. Later on, upon medical advice, the child was admitted to the Dikkoya-based hospital. Rapid antigen test was confirmed that the child was suffering from COVID-19. Accordingly, 9 staff members at the Dikkoya-based hospital, including 2 physicians and 4 nurses, have been subjected to self-quarantine. The doctor who has been conducting the private medical center is also quarantined. The medical center was temporarily closed down. It has been confirmed that the Venerable Thero in charge of the Thevawa at the Sri Dalada Maligawa and civil staff members of the Maligawa were not afflicted with the coronavirus. This was found out upon subjecting to rapid antigen test for 5 bhikkhus in charge of the Thevawa and 115 civil task force members. Accordingly, the SP police in charge of the Kandy division, Sudat Marsinga, said that today the Dalada Maligawa premises is a protected area. The media and Special Project Bureau of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, issuing a media release, says that there is no truth whatsoever in the propaganda being spread regarding the affliction of COVID virus to the staff of the Dalada Maligawa. It further says that facilities for veneration of the sacred relic has been provided according to health instructions. It has also been proven that the State Minister Pial Nishant de Silva was also infected with the COVID-19 disease. The State Minister, in his official Facebook entry, requests all those who have had contacts with him recently to extend cooperation to the health divisions. A suspected female COVID-19 patient admitted to a ward at the Vellavaya Base Hospital was reported to have attempted to flee this morning. She was kept in the admission ward until the receipt of a PCR test report. However, the escaped patient was seized by the hospital staff and returned to the ward. 8 more COVID-19 related deaths have been reported from the island yesterday. The disease were residents of Buralla, Udupusalla, Kegol, Dehiwala Polanaru and Ududumbara. Isolation status imposed on the Vavuniya town for the past 10 days due to the expansion of the disease was lifted today. The town was subjected to closure upon detection of 160 patients in the area. However, isolation imposed on Bazaar Street, Dharmalingam Mawata and Hadavidya continues to remain. Meanwhile, the Railways Department says that long-distance services have recommenced today. Several long-distance journeys operated today. Department adds that all long-distance services will resume with effect from 25th of this month. The Badulla-Colombo train service, which has been suspended for a period of 3 months, also recommenced. Accordingly, the Podimanika train started its journey to Colombo from Badulla at 8:30 this morning. Another train commenced journey from Colombo to Batticaloa 6 a.m. today. 45 Ukraine tourists currently engaged in a tour in the island have visited the Sigiriya area today. They were welcomed by officials of the Sigiriya Project Office of the Central Cultural Fund. The security forces personnel and other groups have also acted according to health guidelines. The tourists were seen climbing the Sigiriya rock. Former Ambassador Udayanga Veeratunga also was present at this occasion. Psychiatric specialist Dr. Neil Fernando says that reopening of schools at the earliest convenience would become immensely appropriate for the mental health of all children. Parliament is scheduled to commence sessions tomorrow, fully adhering to health regulations. A decision in this regard was taken at the committee meeting of the Parliamentary Affairs held today, presided over by Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abhivardhana. Representatives of all political parties representing Parliament have attended this meeting. A special feature has been the convening of several physicians of the Office of the Director General of Health Services. These doctors were involved in PCR tests conducted in Parliament recently. They have pointed out at the meeting there is no threatening situation in Parliament. They have added that therefore parliamentary proceedings could be carried forward according to health regulations. The Parliament is scheduled to meet tomorrow and the day after, commencing at 10 a.m. At tomorrow's parliamentary meeting, a debate is scheduled to be conducted on 6 orders under the Special Commodities Tax Ordinance and also on a proposal under the Customs Ordinance.
The Ministry of Tourism says that it has been possible to earn a revenue of more than 420 million rupees through the pilot tourism project commenced on the 26th of December last year. Nearly 1,500 tourists have arrived in the island during the period. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga has disclosed this fact at a meeting to educate heads of media institutions regarding the program to open the country to tourists beginning 21st of this month. Around 180 hotels to provide lodgings to incoming tourists have been identified. All these hotels are those that are certified institutions which follow health guidelines. All tourists visiting the island should be subjected to PCR tests 72 hours prior to arrival. Incoming tourists who have been confirmed of not being afflicted with COVID-19 disease are scheduled to undergo another PCR test before being admitted to hotels. These tourists will have to undergo a further PCR test between day 5 and day 7 of their stay. They have the permission to travel in 14 identified tourist zones. Hotel employees are also included in the program being implemented in the form of a tourist bubble. Minister Ranatunga added that these employees are also not permitted to mingle with the outside society. Minister Kelia Rambukwala has stated that a large number of people were affected due to the collapse of the tourism industry. The minister has called upon all extend support to the government's program to reopen the tourism industry, considering it as an issue of national responsibility. Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media Jagat P. Vijayveera and Secretary to the Ministry of Tourism S. Hettiarachchi have also attended the media briefing.
The Colombo High Court has handed over a charge sheet to 3 suspects, including former Minister Rajitha Senaratne today. The charges were related to a case filed by the Bribery Commission regarding incurring a loss to the government in leasing the fisheries harbour in Muthual. The charges were handed over before the Colombo High Court Judge Pradeep Hettiarachchi. The other respondents of the case are former chairman of the Fisheries Harbour Corporation, Upali Lienage, and managing director Neil Ravinder Munasinghe. They have been accused on 5 counts of charges. They have been accused of causing a loss to the state over leasing of the Muthual Fisheries Harbour at an underrated price to a company named Sea Gulf UK Private Limited. Accordingly, an offence has been committed under Clause 70 of the Bribery Act. 17 witnesses of the case have also been named. The judge has ordered to release the 3 suspects, including former Minister Rajitha Senaratne, on a surety bail of 1 million rupees each. Further hearings of the case have been postponed till the 22nd of April this year.
The Colombo District inauguration ceremony of the program to train low-income earners in 100,000 job opportunities got underway at the Kulanawa Divisional Secretariat Division Office today. Chairman of the National Apprentice and Industrial Training Authority, Nalin Gamlath, has presided over the ceremony. The 100,000 job generation program has commenced under the concept of creating Sri Lanka devoid of poverty under the Saubhagya Dakma policy statement of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The main objective is to provide a permanent job after a systematic vocational training to members of low-income families with minimum educational qualifications. Accordingly, commencement of the theory classes for recruits in the Colombo district was conducted today.
Well, Minister of Education says submission of appeals pertaining to cut-off marks of Grade 5 scholarships examination is allowed starting 15th February. Secretary to the Minister of Education, Professor Kapila Perez, says that this year's submissions are allowed only through online process. The Secretary to the Minister of Education, Professor Kapila Pereira, says that opportunities have been provided this year as well for the submission of appeals with regard to cut-off marks of the Grade 5 scholarships examination. However, such appeals should be submitted only through online channels beginning 15th February 2021. The website address for the submission of appeals is g6application@moe.gov.lk. The deadline for submission of appeals is 14th March 2021.
Minister Kelly Rambukwala requests all heads of media institutions to take measures to conduct all media coverages in the forthcoming National Independence Day commemoration ceremony with maximum health protection measures. At a media briefing held at the Ministry of Auditorium today to discuss on the media organizational arrangements for the 73rd National Independence Day ceremony, the minister said that this year's celebration should also be conducted in a gallant but in an extremely simple manner. The aim is to set an example to the entire world. The minister has reiterated the health advice and recommendations should not be overlooked by any means. Minister Kelly Rambukwala said that their aim is to preserve gallantry of the event at the same time maintaining health guidelines under the present context. The minister further pointed out that the media should discuss and analyse how to commemorate the historic event by preserving its dignity and value.
ග්‍රහ කරගන්නට ඕනේ සාකච්ඡා කරගන්නට ඕනේ මේ වර්තමානයේ තිබෙන තත්වයන් වලට අනුගත වෙමින් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන අභිමානය සහ ඒ උත්සවත්
Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media Jagat P. Vijayveera, Additional Secretary Rwan Satkumar, Director General of the Government Information Nalaka Kaluwever has also attended the meeting.
Well, it's time to park and ride. The Park and Ride bus service is being implemented with effect from today. It has been introduced as a remedy to the traffic congestion in and around the Colombo city. Well, passengers and drivers and conductors have expressed their appreciation of the new transport service. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa officially inaugurated the Park and Ride bus service last Friday. The service is being conducted centering the Makumara Multipurpose Centre in Kottawa. One of the objectives of the new initiative is to provide a safe and luxury common transport service to passengers who travel in their private vehicles. Another aim is to minimize the number of vehicles arriving in Colombo and adjacent towns. It is also hoped to lessen the environmental pollution, travel time and mental unrest of passengers. The Park and Ride service carries passengers according to the number of seats. Only luxury buses are being deployed. A bus is being deployed in service once in every 15 minutes from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and also from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. After 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, buses are being deployed only once in 25 minutes. Park and ride buses travel on two routes from Kottawa Transport Centre. One route is being operated from Makumira to Fort via Kottawa Old Road, Pannipitiya, Thalawathugoda, Koswatta, Rajagiriya, Borella and Maradana. The return journey of the bus to the Kottawa Makumira Centre is along the high-level road. The other route also commences from Makumura and reaches Tumula Junction across Nugegoda, Navala, Narahambita, Torrington, Town Hall, Lake House Roundabout, Golf Face Green and Kolupitiya. The return trip of the bus to Makumura is also through the high-level road. The fare is double the amount of normal bus fare. Facilities have also been provided for the passengers to park their vehicles in the vehicle park of the multipurpose centre free of charge with the provision of security as well. A special code has been introduced to find out how the Park and Ride project is being implemented.
Electoral board meetings of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna have been conducted throughout the island recently. The electoral meeting of the youth organisation in Vennapur electorate was organised by the Vennapur Pradesh Sabha yesterday. The meeting was presided over by State Minister Arundika Fernando. State Minister Sanath Nishanta, Vennapur electorate organizer, former Provincial Councillor Trevin Fernando, Chairman of the Vennapur Pradesh Sabha Prasanna Pereira were among those who have attended the event. The Muskili electorate electoral meeting of the SLPP was held in Ginikathena yesterday. It was organised by the Amagamua Pradesh Sabha Chairman Jayasanka Pereira. A group including parliamentarian Pramita Bandara Tennakon attended the event. Women's Conference of the SLPP in the Valimada electorate was held in Valimada yesterday. The theme of the event was Siv Seda Suraki Siv Wasara. Electorate organizer of the Valimada SLPP Indika Sampath Jayasundara has organised the meeting. Parliamentarian Manjula Dissanayaka were also present. The Women's Conference of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in the Rambukuna electorate was also held yesterday under the leadership of the State Minister Kanaka Herath. Local government representatives and State Minister Tharaka Balasurya have also attended the meeting. The Moratua SLPP electorate meeting was held at Katubedda yesterday. State Minister Indika Anuruddha presided over the event. It was organised by the Mayor of the Moratua, Samanlal Fernando, and people's representatives and representatives of the regional organisations have also taken part in the meeting.
Minister of Ports and Shipping Rohit Abhiguruvardhana says that the Janatha Vimukti Peramuna appears to be unable to distinguish the meanings of sale, leasing and investment. The minister further says that the government does not do anything in secrecy. Trade unions and religious leaders are being enlightened on all decisions taken. Minister of Ports and Shipping Rohit Abhiguruvardhana has requested the Janatha Vimukti Peramuna to have an understanding on the concepts of sale, leasing and investment. He added that all will be informed on the Eastern Terminal. Discussions will be conducted with trade unions in this connection. The minister has also recalled that no voice has been raised in Parliament against the sale of the Hambantota harbour. He added that the JVP, which had extended support for the sale of the harbour, is today expressing their opposition to the government's dealings pertaining to the Eastern Terminal. Minister Rohit Abhiguruvardhana has reiterated that as a government, they will never sell government property to other institutions. The government will also not increase the debt burden on the people. The minister added that joint ventures will be conducted with investors by retaining 100% ownership. Well, on that note, it's time to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.